Hey, Coach Brewer, how's it going?
Hey man, it's going well. How are you?
Good. How's it going with this is ridiculous as far as staying home, and I feel like I don't know what to do. Um, so I hope you guys are doing all right during this pandemic.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been crazy
so
times.
so I just wanted to talk about for our final session. It's been a good journey. It was crazy how we first started. I observed you the first Friday, and then next we're all doing digital. So that it kind of switched everything up. Hope you got a lot out of this. I feel like I have, and I feel like since we've worked together as co-teachers, it worked out really well.
Right.
You agree with that?
Absolutely.
Um, how do you think your project went as far as when we focused on Canva and Adobe Spark? What do those submissions look like?
Man, like I told you, you know, the other day, it's went from almost a level 1 to a level 5.
Mhm.
I've been so impressed with the work that my kids are putting in. And a lot of it, man, I think that they're just getting used to the tools that
Right.
we've provided them. The interfaces. Once you get in a habit of using those things and learning how to navigate through layouts and various things like that quickly, um, you know, uh, you can really be creative, and I think the kids have just enjoyed it, and
Right.
it's of course promoted learning because of that.
Right. And I know we talked about before with some challenges with some kids not having that access at home to get on the internet. I know when we met, not video conference, we met through Canvas. We were talking through the chat. We talked about students be able to check out Chromebooks from our school and be able to actually sit in the parking lot
Yeah,
to get the Wi-Fi. And I know that sounds absurd, but I feel like I had to do that too. And I know some teachers did the same thing. So I'm glad we were able to fix that and provide something that they can do that's wasn't that hard to do. You see what I'm saying with that?
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so you do you believe your students are more engaged? As I know, we when we first modeled this, I introduced to you. You showed the students what you expect out of it. We went back to our checklist that we formed in regards to our goal. Do you feel like when we individualize this lesson to have these kids work on their assignments on their own, do you feel like they're more engaged with the tools and technologies that we provided?
Yeah, I do, and I tell you the main reason I think that is because right before we got out, we really hit these tools hard in the
Mhm.
classroom. So it was not a learn on your own type scenario. Once they got home and school from home started, the pandemic hit. So they had a great base knowledge of the tools, and basically it was all about just signing on and completing the work at that point. So I definitely think the things even I had you come in the classroom one day and give a little talk to them about Adobe Spark, and things like that just really help and promote learning for these kids.
That's good. Good. Now, we've talked about challenges before we introduce these technologies. Can you give me an example of one challenge that you still may have seen from the students who may have not completed the assignments?
Yeah, well, you're gonna always have two or three that either do minimal amount of work or effort, I should say, and you know I've found that I actually have two that still having internet trouble,
Mhm.
and that's just where we are right now.
Right.
That's honestly, our hands are tied. It's out of our control, and it's out of for those two specific kids I'm talking about, it's out of their control. And
Right.
so I'm trying to have grace during this period and remember what we're in this for. And I'm working with them. I've extended deadlines for those two,
Hmm.
and just trying to not penalize the situation that we're in now, and hold kids accountable in that area.
Right.
Actually, one of them was telling me that he's going to be able to go to McDonald's tonight, and they have
Hey, at all
Wi-Fi.
cost.
Yeah, and out in the parking lot,
Wear a
and
mask.
yeah, submit his work, and so they're trying, and at this point, that's what I'm looking for. So
Right.
that's a challenge. Internet's been a challenge.
That's great. So if we refer back to our goal, remember we were trying to reach 18 out of 20 kids.
Right.
With those two kids, that's you still get that
Mhm.
90%,
Yeah,
goal, which is good.
absolutely.
I know when I went in, I was focused on 4 kids, and those 4 kids I've worked with before when I taught co-taught classes with them and direct instruction social studies class with them, and I was focusing on those 4 kids. because I knew what to expect of them, and I wanted to challenge them since I knew that they had no problem being exposed to this new technology. And there was one that was a big challenge, and we fought. I'm not gonna say we fought, but we kept working and kept coaching him and kept encouraging him to do that. And that would have been 17 out of 20. So that would have been just under our goal of 85%. But we ended up turning it in. I also looked at some other submissions, which is cool that you allow me to go into your Canvas class and look at all the student work. And it's amazing to see what they started before and what they see now. It's pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely, man. The progress is what I'm looking for, and especially in the times that we're in at the moment. Progress. And I was happy that those dudes and dudettes really reached that goal.
Right. All right. That's good. Now, so we talked about, informally, you met your goal at 90%. Do you feel like you truly met your goal?
I do. Listen, again, I'm doing this with grace.
Right.
And trying to teach my kids grace during this time.
Right.
And how we can help people around us, because that's what this is about right now. And there's nothing better we can teach them. And I am just so pleased with the progress, and which has been the main thing that I'm looking for from the beginning, like you said, to what you're able to view now on Canvas. Man, it is incredible. I'm excited, and I'm just excited the passion that they completed these projects with.
That's great. What kind of feedback did you get from your students from this?
They loved it. They loved it. And in fact, I had a little post reflection on there as well, and they wrote a great paragraph or two about how they really enjoyed using Canva and Adobe Spark. I actually had one of them tell me that he's creating a lot of Twitter stuff with his Adobe Spark for one of his video games.
Perfect.
So, whatever, man, they're using it. I'm excited. And, they're using this on things other than just the project with me. So I just thought that was super cool.
That's always great when you can provide some type of tool that's authentic and meaningful to actually what they're actually going through in life. So that's awesome. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Now, with that being said, I do believe there's always room for improvement. After we met from our video conference, we met again, not on camera, but we were talking through the Canvas. And then I went to our media specialist, Ms. Gibson, to talk about, what we've been going through. And I presented her how I was going about this coaching process. And she gave me more ideas than I could have thought of. So it was cool to get coached by a coach. So I'll send you a PDF file of what she sent in. So it's pretty good. And I feel really good about this coaching process. I felt like that we worked well together.
Absolutely.
I do feel like I'm confident in coaching as far as instructional technology. And just wanted to ask, do you feel like you're comfortable or feel more confident with these technologies that we worked with?
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. As a baseball coach, I know you're a soccer coach.
Mm-hmm.
Using these applications and this process has helped me with my program as well. You talk about promotion, and these Web 2.0 tools are promotion, awesome apps and things that we can use to really make our sports teams promoted more and promote more school spirit around the school. So, man, it's been awesome working with you. You've been a fantastic help throughout this entire process for me.
Perfect. Well, and I think the great thing about the technology that we've always presented, the first thing I think is important is it free? So that's a huge thing. Is it free, and how can we work with it? And the good thing about those programs, they're very flexible. You had your online platform. You could also do it on your phone too. So that's, like you said, promotion. It's a great thing. Also an easy way to explain direction and stuff, especially during this time if you want to post it on Canvas for kids. All right, so the last question I have from the data that you received, of course, we've met the criteria for mastery being 70% as actually passing the assignment, but we're focusing on engagement. From the data that you got, and when we looked at our checklist, looked at your rubric, based on that data, what are you going to do to further enhance your professional practice as well as help students be more responsible with their learning? How are you going to use this data for subsequent lessons?
Right. Well, the big thing is if I can be in front of the kids, it's challenging times, right? And so it's hard to answer that. If we're just assuming that we would be at stay-at-home situation next fall, I think maybe even more of a tutorial on how to use these applications and put it in process
Right.
to where the kids have an even bigger comfort level than what they already had. Because as you know, and we've talked about off camera before, we felt kind of rushed as we were really teaching and walking the kids through these two applications
Right.
that we were mainly using, and just really to set that base even more at the beginning, that fundamental stage where they can take these Web 2.0 applications and really grind their way through the project. I think just having that base where we don't feel rushed because of a upcoming pandemic, if you will,
Right.
where we only have one more day of school. I think that would really help and really help the data shoot up even more. I think it would really promote learning with it.
Right. And it's hard to take a look at that data and see how you're going to go for next week when you know you're limited to just digital learning. It's I feel like I got to be in front of the kids too at some point,
Yeah,
and virtual is not really the same. I like the old school board,
yeah.
but
But
that's great.
like the Zoom. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're
The
fine.
Zoom's new for me,
Right.
and it's not now because we've been doing it for 3 weeks.
Right.
But that Friday when we got out of school, I had no idea what Zoom was,
Right.
and so just being in front of the kids, I have a comfort level now doing it from a laptop, and I know they have one too. So
Right.
I think walking them through these Web 2.0 tools will be a lot easier if the worst comes to worst and we're doing this in the fall.
That's great. Well, Coach Brewer, I appreciate you sticking out and hanging on through this process. I hope you gained a lot. I felt really good about it, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions that you have down the road. And hopefully, we can continue to work together.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.